Good afternoon, everyone. It is Saturday, August 21st. The time right now is 3:28 p.m., and I'm here in downtown Toronto, just north of the intersection of Dundas Street West and University Avenue. And there's a look north, up University. And the temperature right now is around 27 degrees Celsius. And I'm currently walking south down University Avenue, although at Dundas Street West here, I'll be turning right, and I'll be heading over to Baldwin Village. And then after walking through there, I'm going to take a walk around Chinatown. And that is a pretty big crane. Just east of here is the unofficial neighborhood of Little Tokyo. That's what a lot of the locals have dubbed it. And at this intersection is St. Patrick's subway station, which I think opened back in 1963. And it is named after St. Patrick's Church, which is right around the corner from here. I'm just going to cross over to the south side. That way I can keep the sun out of the way a little bit more. And here is Simcoe Street, located right next to it is 52 Division. And unfortunately right now, the police stations are still closed. Or at least closed in the sense that you can't just walk in there. And I know some people aren't too happy about that. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. Pretty much everything else is open now. Most government offices, hospitals are doing non-urgent surgeries. So if you find yourself getting chased by a nut job, you might want to think twice before running into a police station. This here is St. Patrick Street, and there is the St. Patrick Church.
Come on.
And just to the south is the CN Tower, and Queen Street West is the most major street just to the south of here. And given that it's the middle of a Saturday afternoon and the weather's nice, I would expect Chinatown to be as busy as it'll get. It's a neighborhood that's been particularly hard hit by the pandemic. It's actually had to deal with quite a lot over the years. It was relocated around the 60s to its current location. It was then threatened with being completely demolished so they could put in the Allen Expressway. That's a failed highway project. And it went through SARS in the early 2000s. And now this pandemic. And as a lot of the city was starting to bounce back to life with sidewalk patios and people out and about, Chinatown always seemed a little bit behind the rest of the city. And I'm not sure why that was. That might just be my observations. And there's the Art Gallery of Ontario, and OCAD University is just to the south of here on McCall Street. I'll be heading north into Baldwin Village. There's a popular pub, Sin and Redemption.
There was nothing wrong with it. Well, no, there wasn't.
And there is St. Patrick's Church. So there is an S on it, even though it's St. Patrick's Station.
One of my favorites.
She can say whatever.
And this area is almost an eastern extension of Chinatown. You can see Chinese characters on the street there, or the street sign. I'll be turning left at Baldwin Street, which takes its name from William Baldwin, who was a landowner in this area back in the 1800s. And in the early 1900s, this area was known as something of a Jewish ghetto. And that population migrated west into what is now Kensington Market. And in the 60s, it was known as being somewhat of a student ghetto due to its close proximity to the University of Toronto. It was also where a lot of Vietnam draft dodgers set up shop. And where this St. Louis Bar and Grill is, used to be a really good Korean restaurant.
Then I was married. And then I never went to
Okay, so this will take us through the heart of Baldwin Village. There's a neat looking shop. This is kind of an underrated / underappreciated area. There's a lot of really good restaurants here.
Oh!
There's a all-you-can-eat Japanese restaurant. Hand Pan Noodle Bar.
Check. I'm here with it.
And since the 70s, this area has slowly been gentrifying. There's a fairly large Chinese Canadian population here as well. That used to be a bodega restaurant, or at least that's what it was called. since it's on the way, and it's a pretty nice detour from, or rather on the way to Chinatown. I thought I'd swing through this area. And here's Beverly Street, so I'll just head down to Dundas. There's a sign for the Chinese Presbyterian Church. I am in the midst of preparing for a trip to New York. But I wanted to get out and make a video or two today. I'm not sure when I'll upload this. And I just got my negative COVID test from the pharmacy, so I should be good to go to travel. I think the lighting might be a bit better if I cross over to the west side here. There's Hayden Park Secondary School. And here is the Italian consulate. That might be a neat laneway to explore sometime. I was just in the capital, Ottawa. That's where the Italian embassy would be. But I bet from a servicing point of view, the Toronto consulates are probably much busier. And we're now at the other side of the Art Gallery of Ontario. And just south of this is Grange Park. Beverly's always a nice street to take a walk along. It looks like there's a pretty good crowd in front of the Art Gallery. I'm just going to cross over to the south side of Dundas here. This is where the commercial stretch of the main Chinatown begins. I've been through here countless times, so from here on out, there'll probably be not so much information on this one. I'll keep it more casual. And this is a very long traffic light. It's good to see Chinatown looking quite busy. The main intersection here is up ahead at Spadina in Dundas. Although lately I found myself frequenting East Chinatown more often. It's over at Girard and Broadway, or rather, Broadview.
Trick.
And this would be Huron Street. You can take this north all the way to just north of DuPont. There's a neat car. And last year, when a lot of restaurants weren't able to serve customers indoors, but they were outdoors, Chinatown seemed to be excluded from those plans. I really didn't see any of these places setting up shop on the sidewalks. And there's a few more doing it this year, but not so many. And here would be ground zero for Chinatown. This is the street that was going to be replaced by a highway. I'll just head south for a block here,
Yeah.
and I'll turn around and we'll walk north through Chinatown. This is one of the few streets in the city that I don't mind so much covering both ways on a single video, just because it's so wide and so different, whether you're on the east or west side. Yonge Street in North York is kind of like that as well. I bet it's quite busy to the south of here on Queen West. And I think the last time I did a daytime video through here, It was in early June and it was kind of raining. So there wasn't much in the way of pedestrian activity. Although I've been here several times on my bike, e-scooter, and live streaming. And I've rarely seen it that busy. Just noting there's a car from Massachusetts. So the land border is open to American travelers right now. That's definitely good for business, as this is one of those destination neighborhoods you see in all the guidebooks. There's the 510 Spadina. At the end of this walk, I might find myself hopping onto one of those. There's the Chinatown Center on the left. This old hotel here is being converted into youth housing. So the affordable hotel options in the area are dwindling. There's still one over in Alexandra Park, which is just to the west of here. Hey, it's a Stromer. Those are pretty neat e-bikes.
Sorry.
I just came up this part last night, although that would have been after midnight, recording an e-scooter video. I would definitely say we're almost back to pre-COVID levels of street activity here. I have nothing to quantify that on, but it's starting to feel that way. There's a popular dim sum restaurant up on the top floor. Of the Dragon City Mall here. I wonder how that's doing right now. And it's back to Dundas and Spadina. I'll just head west for a few blocks. There's a KTV place. You see those all over in Asia, but in the West, not so much. I have to wonder how those places, along with karaoke bars, would survive. And here's Alexandra Park on the left. So I'll cross over to the other side of Dundas at this point, or around this part. Some of these words aren't coming out right. I guess that's one of the disadvantages of just sort of recording everything as one long shot. I don't really care to edit, so I just leave all that stuff in. There's a break in traffic. And this is Kensington Avenue. You know what? I'll head up through here and then I'll circle back to Spadina and just see how this neighborhood's doing. There's a lot of secondhand shops in this area. And some neat hidden laneways with some cool houses in them. I've done a video featuring those. And that there is Fitzroy Terrace. That would be one of them. I'll probably come back here in a week or two from now and comb through this whole neighborhood. And do a proper Kensington Market video. But what I'll do is I'll head up to Baldwin Street here. So even though it's not connected to the other Baldwin Street I was on, it is considered the same road. And I'll take that back over to Chinatown. There is Tribal Eye. Hopefully that music doesn't end up in a copyright match, but it seems likely. And it's a Dirty Bird chicken and waffles. That's pretty cool. That cannabis shop has some neat art on the side. And here's Baldwin Street. I've never liked the appearance of this parking garage. I thought they could have done a better job with the facade on the lower floor. In terms of how it fronts the street, it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the neighborhood.
But I sort of always know if it's...
Which this walk is only catching a portion of. There's the Jerk Spot. And this will spit me out of Kensington and back into Chinatown. So now it's southbound Spadina. And I'll loop around to Dundas, then I'll head back north up to College, and I think that'll be that. here's St. Andrew Street, so that'll lead you into Kensington. I remember when this used to be a big luggage store on the corner. They renovated it, and I haven't seen any tenants move in. There's Taste of China Seafood Restaurant. And that is owned by the parents of one of this channel's viewers. It's a popular spot for dumplings. Not sure what that setup is for. Locking up e-scooters. That's not something I've ever done with mine. And here's probably the most well-known spot in all of Chinatown, King's Noodle. It's back to Dundas and Spadina. Here it is, Rolsan on the right. That's my favorite restaurant in this area. I appreciate their work, but they need to stay the hell off the sidewalks. It's not uncommon to see police at this corner, right by the LCBO. Can't tell if someone's singing their heart out or if they just got the volume too loud. Sounds like the latter. So Chinatown ends just a few blocks north of here. Here's the famous Grossman's Tavern. And man, it is hot.
This is a song by Clifton Chenier, or Chenier.
Just gonna check the temperature. There's no way it's only 27. Yet.
I am coming home.
That is what my phone says. It's cool to see some live performances going on now. And here is College Street just up ahead. There's the revamped El Mocambo. Getting blocked by the streetcar there. I've never actually been there. That place was famous for hosting the Rolling Stones, amongst some other popular acts back in the day. Although it's recently reopened as a recording studio and a live music space, but it's a lot more spendy than it used to be. I know there's been some concerns that it's now appealing to an entirely different crowd than what it used to. All right, I think I see a northbound streetcar making its way. I could either take that or this eastbound 505.
Now that
I'm not likely to catch that one.
it's a little very hard.
I'm gonna throw my mask on here. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this walk through Baldwin Village, Chinatown, and a little bit at Kensington Market. Oh, I think that guy recognized me. He started looking at me, so I usually point the camera away when someone does that. But I think he was doing it out of friendliness. And there is the revamped Waverly. It used to be an affordable hotel. So let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. I did have a thought to maybe record a second walk today, but in this weather, there is no way I'm going to do that. So I'll hop on the streetcar and I'll probably stop recording as I get on. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. There looks to be a fair bit of people on this, but oh, there's some getting off at the back.
Should I ask what it costs if I brought